I first noticed the blue house during those drives when sleep felt like a rumor. Highway 126 was a wet ribbon under my headlights, timber crowding both sides, the Francke building a gray hump shrinking in my rear view. Local stations still ran the story every January. The corrections director found outside his office in '89, jacket torn, life leached into the cold brick. They called it a robbery gone wrong. People at the diner called it something else, then glanced at the door. On those drives, the state complex loomed behind me like a sealed file, but the house ahead was worse. Listing toward the ditch, front windows uncovered, a porch light burning a color that wasn't quite yellow, like nicotine trapped in glass. No curtains, no car in the drive, just that tired blue paint and a feeling of having been seen before I even passed it. Rumor tied the house to Francke in threads no one could fully trace. The story went that before he died, he'd met a source there, someone with a shoebox of copied memos and inmate letters, proof the prison system was rotting from the inside out. Another version said it was a safe house used by investigators who were quietly told to stop asking questions. Officially, the property records showed a dead man's name and an out-of-state landlord, but the clerk at the county office lowered her voice when she said it. At the diner, old COs nursed their coffee as if it might talk. They said Francke's notes vanished after his death, that cameras malfunctioned, that doors were found unlocked, then were suddenly locked in the reports. No one would say the house's address, though. They just called it that place by the highway and watched to see if I already knew. I started pulling over across from it, leaving my engine running while the highway whispered past. In the rain, the house looked waterlogged, edges blurring into brush. But the porch light stayed sharp, an insect eye fixed on the road. Sometimes, in the second-floor window, I thought I saw movement. Not a figure, exactly, more like a slight rearranging of the dark. Boxes sliding, blinds twitching that weren't there. I told myself it was reflection from passing trucks, the wet glass of my windshield doubling the world. Yet the longer I sat, the more the place felt less abandoned than paused, like a scene waiting for its actors to remember their lines. My radio picked up stray fragments from the corrections complex scanners, static, codes, clipped references to Facility A, though I was miles away. Twice a deep voice came through, repeating my license plate number with slow, unmistakable care. One night, the signal died so abruptly my ears rang. The highway went empty, as if traffic had been edited out. Only the click of my cooling engine and the drizzle ticking on the roof remained. Across the road, the house's light flickered, then steadied, brighter than I'd ever seen it. The front door wasn't open, but the darkness behind its beveled glass felt invitation-shaped. I stepped out, gravel snapping under my boots, and the air smelled of old paper and wet dust, like a basement that had memorized every conversation it overheard. Halfway across the asphalt, the radio in my car crackled back to life. Not music, not news, just a man's voice dictating times, dates, names, pausing as if waiting for me to write. I realized then the house was not a source or a shrine, but a file cabinet someone had tried to disguise as a home. I stopped at the shoulder. Inside that porch light, motes turned like shredded documents. I understood why the case would never be solved. Some buildings keep their own kind of witness protection. Behind me, the Francke building sat unseen beyond the trees, its dark windows reflecting a highway where nothing ever happened, officially.